Hey guys, it's Shannon, and today on Things on the Internet That Make Me Extremely Uncomfortable in the worst kind of way, we are going to be talking about what's going on with Danielle Bregoli. No, we are not going to be trying to come for her bag, take away her platform, or rate her OnlyFans content, because I personally find that to be weird and kind of rude, especially when that person puts the content on screen that they are talking about that, you know, is supposed to be hidden behind a paywall. Like, thank you, Derek, for taking something that was supposed to be pay-per-view and making it fully public. You are a king amongst kings for that one, my guy, and I personally will curse you forever to smell like swamp balls. Please stop trying to take someone's bag just so you can make it yours, you unwiped goblin anus. No, we aren't going to be talking about what she's doing on OnlyFans or even her content in that regard. We are going to be talking about the strange reaction to it with grown adult men going on Twitter and exposing themselves for wanting to have seen her naked since she was literally 13 years of age. And also how she has been exposing Turnabout Ranch and Dr. Phil for what they did to her and countless others. However, before I get into that, I do want to thank today's sponsor, Taking a Break Because You Deserve It, which might sound ironic coming from me because I pretty much put out daily videos last week and seem to be running on X Games mode. But lately, with the state of the world, things have kind of been feeling really dire and just way more intense than they have been in a while. People are constantly being inundated with the worst news possible, hearing disgusting, heartbreaking things, and if you are like me and you have been feeling constantly as if things cannot get any worse, and then seeing that they can, then you deserve a break. If you are in that state, if you are feeling overwhelmed, I encourage you to do something that is just solely for you. Something that makes you and you alone happy. Something that is entirely selfish. For me, that looked like turning off my phone for a full day and watching paranormal content nonstop from around 2011 when I was, you know, into paranormal content. It was really nostalgic and nice for me, and it meant the world. It meant spending a whole day doing weird self-care things without any distractions, and it meant indulging in some of my weirder niche interests, which most people don't care about and don't want to talk to me about. I highly encourage you guys to check in with yourselves right now and see if you need a break. And if you do, find a way to take one. Whether that's waiting until the weekend to dedicate an entire day to sleeping, or if it's doing the laundry you've been putting off because you feel like you don't deserve to be wearing clean clothes because you're in the middle of a mental break, find a way to make yourself feel a little shred of contentment and do it. I promise you, you deserve it. Also, with this video, I'm going to be giving $100 away to 10 people in the comments down below who put one of these little cuties in the comments, along with their game plan on how they are going to be taking care of themselves. I will also be donating $1,000 of my own money to Thorn, which is an amazing charity that helps fight child trafficking with technology. So with that being said, and with you guys leaving your comments, let's blue skidoo into this turd, shall we? Like I said earlier, we are going to be talking about two things in this video, that being the reaction that adult men have had to Danielle Bregoli starting an OnlyFans, and how essentially a large population of men decided that they were collectively going to come out as being attracted to minors, as well as talking about what's going on in Turnabout Ranch with that situation with Hannah, Danielle, and many others coming forward. Both of these topics are massively important, and I feel like there are probably going to be people who think whatever I talk about first is the most important topic, but both of these deserve your attention. However, if you are only interested in one, I will leave timestamps on the video and in the description box down below so you can jump to the point that you specifically are interested in. If you know anything about Danielle's story, then you are aware that when she was 13, she went to the famous ranch that Dr. Phil always talks about, Turnabout Ranch. Reaction channels around 4 years ago popularized the term, send them to the ranch, as a way to say, send this bad person to punishment place. And it caught on, with even me using it recently. It was a mainstay in the show, and the collaboration between Dr. Phil and Turnabout Ranch kind of became iconic in meme culture. Turnabout Ranch is essentially just what it sounds like. It's meant to be a sort of personality rehab for kids who are, quote, out of control. Your child is talking back at you and doesn't respect authority? Take them to Turnabout Ranch. Your child is swearing at you and swearing at their teachers? Send them to Turnabout. Your child is hanging out with a wrong crowd and speaking their minds because they're young, confused, and dealing with their hormones, which turns them into little demon monsters? Don't try to listen to them or relate to them on their level. Send them off in the wild so they can be taught to conform. On the outside, Turnabout Ranch is a different take on the same idea idea that kids just need to be disciplined to the point where they realize that having any unique thoughts or feelings, being upset or angry about anything, is what makes them bad and the real cause of all their problems. But instead of it being a military camp or a desert like from the movie Holes, it's on a ranch filled with animals that teens have to take care of and learn to work with. In fact, a lot of Turnabout Ranch's marketing shows kids having fun with said animals, teaching them and working together as a team, and just looking like they're having a great time. And just to show you what I mean, let me play you a clip that was recorded for Dr. Phil when Danielle had gone to Turnabout.
I like learning patience with him. He wants everything his way. Yeah, I'm talking about you. That my mom's gonna have to trust me because she knows that now there's boundaries, and if she pulls back on the reins, I'll stop.
She went totally outside of her realm. With every little piece of this ranch, she learned responsibility.
This is part of graduation. She has to teach somebody what she's learned how to rope.
Swing it like this.
Make that noise, and then you let go.
And then you throw it, yeah.
Congratulations, good job, well done.
I thought there was no way that I could ever survive here.
The last thing is your Turnabout Ranch horsemanship certificate.
I'm living proof I survived.
Good job, kiddo.
Make me proud.
Okay? I miss you.
I miss you too. And I have to thank Dr. Phil. He gave me my granddaughter back.
You see a lot of smiles, you see a lot of animals, you see a lot of grown men telling a child that her energy and spirit is too much, which personally pisses me off, just as someone who was often told growing up that I am too loud and too opinionated, even though that's called having a personality and being able to speak for myself. Not a lot of people can speak for themselves when they're 10 years old, but you know what? Grown men seem really threatened by it. I wonder why. Like, go off, you cowboy hat wearing burlap nipple. Like most of these camps that are dedicated to turning around troubled teens by making them do manual labor and exhausting them to the point where they simply don't have enough energy to have big personalities anymore, Turnabout Ranch was exposed a good many times for their abusive practices. The most recent time coming about because Hannah Archuleta came forward to talk about how she was sexually assaulted at the camp and going forward with a lawsuit against them, which, as upsetting as it is to say, is something that would of course happen when you have a labor camp filled with children that is set up for the adults, the people in charge, to literally not believe a word that these children say. Of course, predators are going to be drawn to working in a place like Turnabout Ranch, where they are given access to young men and women who are so physically exhausted they can't fend for themselves, speak up for themselves, and are already seen as liars and the worst of society. Places like Turnabout Ranch, boot camps, and wilderness retreats that are meant to teach your child to respect their elders are set up to be feeding troughs for the worst of humanity. So you can't really be shocked when, oh, the person working there actually sexually abused a minor? That's weird. Why would a predator be drawn to a place where kids have no authority and you have to believe all the adults? Danielle heard Hannah's story and she used her platform that she has grown since her time on the show to back Hannah up, supporting her and standing firmly against Turnabout, telling them that she refuses to be silent anymore and she refuses to let Dr. Phil and his cameras paint an untrue narrative like they have been. She went as far as to demand an apology from the famed television personality, saying that he is personally responsible for her and Hannah being there, seeing the death of another teen, and suffering what can only be described as abuse at the hands of the people she was supposed to trust with her life. And how do you think Dr. Philip McGraw responded? How do you think he acknowledged that this place that he has been sending children to for years has a history of abusing the children he sends there and killing at least one child that we know of? What do you think he did? Well, he did what most people do when they want to shift blame. He lied. He full out said that he is not really responsible for the things that go on at the ranch that he praises on his show, that he says is amazing and that all parents of disorderly children should send their little rugrats to. He essentially said, it wasn't me who did this to you, so you guys can't hold me accountable, which is so absolutely ridiculous. Because despite him saying it wasn't him, he was more than willing to take credit for their quote-unquote recovery when she was doing better, according to him, when they would later come on and do a follow-up for his show. He was more than willing to sit down with Danielle's, Hannah's, and plenty of other parents who had appeared on that show and convince them that sending their kids away is what they needed to do so that the kids could learn to respect them. He literally said, send them to the labor ranch, it's fine. He was more than willing to say his show was a positive force that caused this change beforehand, even so far as filming PR bits for the ranch. But now that there are negative connotations to this ranch. He's suddenly Mariah Carey. He can't read. He just simply doesn't know. That's ridiculous. Especially when you measure the fact that his own YouTube channel still has their PR packages featuring Danielle when she was at Turnabout Ranch, where she literally says she didn't think she would be able to survive there, and she didn't think she would see the day they would let her leave. This girl was 13 years old, and she stayed in your pretty PR package showing that, oh, this program that kills a child while she was there, it works. She states in the best cut of what you put out that she thought she was going to die, and you put happy music to it, and nobody thought a thing. That is disgusting. As of right now, Hannah has a lawsuit against Turnabout Ranch, and she's being represented by Gloria Allred, so we shall see where that goes. But Danielle's not just supporting Hannah with YouTube videos and the like. She also teamed up with Paris Hilton, who recently came forward this year about abuse she also experienced at a place not unlike Turnabout Ranch, and they are working together to make sure these places are shut down for good. And I personally could not be happier to see it. Danielle's life online has been a lot, with her being the internet's punching bag for her most formative years, and she's profited for sure, but the immense toll all of this abuse must have taken on her psyche, I can't imagine it. But unfortunately, as you guys know, that is not all we have to talk about. Like I said at the beginning of this video, this portion is not going to be demonizing Danielle for creating an OnlyFans, showing her content, making fun of her, or taking part in the mockery of her in the way that a good portion of male commentary creators like to do. I'm of course not saying all male commentary creators like to do this, but you know the ones I'm talking about. I'm not about that. I have never been about that, and it's why in my video about Anissa Jumha, I literally make it a point to never bring up her OnlyFans content or expose it, because that's just a neutral thing. It's not good. It's not bad. It's a job. It's work. It's real work, and people shouldn't be treated any differently for it. However, I will be talking about the public's response to Danielle, who has been famous since she was 14 in the public eye and sexualized since she was that age, and how essentially, in unison, millions upon millions of men admitted to being sexually attracted to her since she was a minor, which there is a word for: predator. Like this person, who confidently stated, I've been waiting 6 years for this, when 6 years ago, Danielle would have been 12. She only recently turned 18. So you're saying 6 years ago, you were really, that's 12 years old, and this person was into it, waiting for the day he could possibly see her naked. Are you kidding me? Or how about this person who has the same sentiment, saying it's been 5 long years? Because apparently, unlike the last guy, he's only been waiting since she was 13, which, you know, isn't better, seeing as she would still be a child. The amount of men responding to this, saying, finally, I have been waiting. They wanted this since before she could even drive a car, is disgusting. And it truly shows the disturbing side of the internet that has been around for a very long time. Most people like to say people do this under or behind closed doors or under wraps or whatever, but these men confidently are doing it in public. And for some reason, a lot of the female response has been jealousy and shitting on Danielle for men preying on her. I'm unfortunately old enough to remember when Emma Watson was turning 18, and there were whole ass radio hosts and shock jocks talking about how they couldn't wait because then they would be allowed to sexualize her. I remember the same countdown clocks happening for Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, and how the trauma of being put through that and going through puberty in the public eye made them quit the industry entirely, only to be mocked later for it. Like the amount of men who were so proud and excited to say that when they saw a young girl in crisis on Dr. Phil when she was 13 years old, and say that when they saw her, they were turned on, they wanted to be with that 13-year-old, that in and of itself is disgusting. Never mind the fact that celebrities praise that kind of behavior and make it seem like it's not what it is, which is predatory. Like, it's a lot. If you ever want to lose faith in humanity or figure out who in your life is a disturbing piece of toadstool, I encourage you to go through the responses of this tweet announcing her OnlyFans, because truly, it's like the 10th layer of hell. If I was still on Twitter, I would make this, like everyone responding to this, into a blockchain, because so many people are confidently talking about how long they've waited and liking every repost, and just, it's disturbing. The fact that the internet literally waits and hopes that young celebrities who have been famous since they were kids will make an OnlyFans, will show them their bodies and make content that they can spank it to, it's weird. Because what they are really saying is they have wanted to do this since that person was a child, and that's sick. And unlike Your Movie Sucks, I'm team bully predators. I'm team these guys are gross. I'm team don't be nice to pedophiles. So that's it. That's my video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about the response to Danielle's OnlyFans, what you think about everything coming out about Turnabout Ranch, and more. And don't forget to comment with what you're doing to take care of yourself today, because you might just get $100 roonies from your girl, who is me. But with that, I am out of here. Later days.